and welcome to the Photoshop tutorial from Fashion Photography channel. Today we'll show you how to remove background from the image and end up with something like this. When you start with some simple picture like this, you shoot from the studio or whatever you prefer location. The first thing you need to do is to find background you want to replace, and when you get it, just get this background from your computer and drag and drop to the Photoshop. Sometimes image not exactly the size you have original, and you can adjust the size of this background, just pull in the corners and fitting the background if it's smaller to the actual image. To save this background, just press this sign on the top of this and it's gonna save it. Now you get a background and you have image here we're working with to replace. But little problem here, so we need to change right now the order of this, but this does not work this way because the background image is locked. But it's easy to fix. Just drag this lock sign to the garbage can and our lower layer become like visible and active, so now you can change the order of the backgrounds. So we get actual image of the model on the top and our 3D background we choose to replace on a background layer right now. Okay, now we need to select the model we're gonna place in the background image. How we're gonna do it? It's a couple different ways we can make it. Simple way is just pick magic wand and start picking some background we don't need to around the model. Holding the shift buttons, they're gonna add a little bit more every time you click on this. And if you have some areas you don't want to be in a selection, like for example this Christmas tree in the background, you can use lasso and holding the shift key add more selection to your image, and like this. So right now this tree is not gonna be selected. As you see, our shape of the mask maybe not perfect here, but you can adjust manually some areas. It's not, don't need to be perfect, but better get just a little bit closer to the shape. I'll explain you why. It's almost good here, nice and edges, but we also want to select some areas like this. It's a little far from the edge, but we're gonna need to work with this area because we still have some background we can see through, and some areas like this, the holes, we can use the magic wand. It's easy and fast for the small areas like this, almost the shape. Let me see if we get a little bit more of these areas. Yeah, one more here. And oops, Control Z if you don't want it. Okay, we almost get it. So this shape looks good. Let me check on the bottom. Here we get a little problem in the glass because the color here very close to the background. What we need to do, we need to inverse the mask. So say select, inverse, shift, Control I, and if we can use the lasso and holding the shift key, we can fix this area. Yes, perfect. And a little bit on the side of the glass. This is great. And a little bit here too. I don't want to spend too much time just showing details how it could be, but if you can see some discrepancies, you can do Control Shift I, change the mask direction, and you can correct a little bit. Okay, this is perfect. So now if you hold Control minus Control plus, you can resize the image, and if you hold the space and you can use the hand, you can move the image around the screen. So we're going to this area and see what's going on here. So it's almost good, but not exactly the edges of the hair or maybe feathers here. You need to get a little bit more detailed masking. So how we're gonna do it? We're gonna use a special tool called Refine Edge. You can see it on top of navigation. This tool works with three top tools like Mask, Lasso, or Magic Wand, or Quick Selection tool. Quick Selection tool also possible to use to select the image, but Magic Wand works perfectly. And let's go to next step and use the Refine Edge. Watch what's going on and press this button. Now we can see our selected image with the edges still have some white border from the background because we shoot in light gray background. This tool can show you overlay, can show you, let's see how this looks like in white. If you want to replace something lighter background like white or something, this edge is not visible. But if you want a darker background, we're gonna need to work on the edges, so it's gonna be more natural look when you replace the background. This is like, it's our actual background we pick, and this darker background needs some work on the edges. So let's start with this. So we need to select some radius of our brush. If we say like this is, press show radius, it's showing like how many pixels, like it's 18 pixels I pick around, and it's almost disappearing here. If we go into this area, you see the edge coming a little bit better, so I like it. So let's go to tiny adjustment, smooth. It's like if we get a hard edges like here for example, and we can make it a little smoother, it's gonna fix it, make it a little softer edges. So we can keep it feather a little bit, like we can do 0.2 contrast, we're not gonna touch. And shift edge, it's meaning like if we want to do it a little bit negative or positive balance, let's do -2 pixels over there inside. And decontaminate colors, when we get very active colored background, let's say we shoot on a green screen and green color get little spill in the body, so we want to decontaminate these colors on the model. We cannot see any changes here for now because you know our background was natural, so we're not gonna check it. And now we're gonna output to new layer with a layer mask. It's important. We're gonna press OK button when we're gonna be done. But for now, we need to pick the brush size. Let's say depend of the size of this, and we're gonna work with some tiny details. Just watch what's going on. I'm gonna work with some areas around sensitive details. You cannot see much in the beginning, but you're gonna see results in a few seconds. Just if you walk around this, you can see some details, and we want to make it more natural, more visible. Let's check it out. Okay, check it out. Now it's almost disappearing, so we can get a little bit more radius on this. Perfect. And we can work on some details here. You see it's disappearing, something here, a little bit more here. Okay, this is great. I'm not gonna work with all image, so it takes some time, but for you it's just principle how it works. When you're gonna be done with all this stuff, just press OK button, and this is what we get. We get almost good image, but still get some area we need to work with. So for this we can use burn tool. It's here, and for the burn tool, especially when we get on a darker background, you need to pick here. You're gonna work in the shadows. You're gonna work like around maybe 50%. When you're working with the burn tool, it's important to press layer mask. So this is the area we're gonna work with. Check it out what's going on. So we're gonna you can see we're burning a little bit white areas around, and it start getting more and more natural. Yeah, like this. So it's a trick when what we're gonna do for darker backgrounds. When replacing for the darker backgrounds, we can work with edges to get rid of the whiter areas left from our previous engagements. For example, here, this is going to be really visible. So we get some details, but we want to burn them to the dark color, so get it more natural look before we're going to place the picture to more visible background. I'm showing the principles how it's going to be, and you have to pick your tiny details when you work with this. It takes some time. If you want to do for really high-end a magazine or something like this, it takes sometimes a couple hours to adjust it, but you know, it's all depend of your skills and size of the image, resolution. Okay, this is basically it, and we're gonna be ready to move to next step to change our background and move it to next level. The last stage. So when you get your image in the top of the background, probably what you want to do, you want to make it more blurry background and sharper image. You can adjust final levels and color to make it more match. Here we can see warm skin tone and the cold bluish greenish background, so the color contrast give us like more definition, so better feelings about this, and it's more romantic. But this is layout for advertising, for greeting card or wallpaper or something you can send to other people, your friends or colleagues or client, even client, as a greeting card. So we move the model on the right side of the background and keep this area open, so to get more design elements. So like we can add text, we can add logos, we can add some special effects to make it more dimensional. Just watch what other steps we can do to finalize the product, the image. We can, let's say, add some star like this, spark or on a glass, or give it a little bit feelings of the celebration. This was done with a custom brush. You can download the custom brushes for the Photoshop from internet. This is a star. We can add some snow, some little flurries, so it's changing the different size of this brush and make a special shape, giving like more mystery, more romantic mood. We can also add some particles of the breaking ice or snow, something like, give it like more dynamic look. And also we can add some text like happy holidays or happy new year. You can do it like with regular text tool, or you can use any preset templates as PNG with a transparent background. You can resize it, place in any size and any part of this. But this composition looks complete and is ready to save. You can say file, save as, and go to save it as JPEG files when you get other postcards, and you're ready to go. So this is it. Check more tutorials and educational behind the scenes video at Fashion Photography channel. Stay with us and subscribe if you like our videos.